Jeffrey here, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can rebuild your trust when all trust is lost, and so you can stop feeling paranoid about everything in your relationship. And if you want to really empower yourself to take control of your relationship and start to improve it, then you want to subscribe to this channel and click that bell button to be notified every single time I post a new video from Mondays through Fridays. So we all know that trust is a very important part of a relationship. When trust is broken, you have no relationship. But what if your trust is already broken right now? Where do we go from here? How do we go about fixing that? Well, here are the same tips that I gave all my clients when I work with them. And when you can really understand this stuff, it doesn't matter if you've just gone through some infidelity or some compulsive lying and trust is really destroyed. Because once you understand this stuff, you can really rebuild trust, not overnight, but slowly but surely. So the first thing I want you to understand here is the two dimensions of trust. And so when we talk about trust, we often think about it from our own perspective. So we ask the question, do we trust our partner to tell the truth? But guess what? The other side, there's a second dimension of trust that's also very important in considering how to rebuild your trust. And that's, does your partner trust that they can tell you the truth without you reacting really badly and so on? So can they trust that the truth can come out, they can express the truth? And the reason I say this is, let's consider for a moment how trust is destroyed. Let's look at the mechanics here. And in my experience, the mechanics looks like this. So it begins with, one person not feeling safe or not feeling trustworthy that they can tell the other person the truth without it leading to some argument, to some intense conflicts or rejection or even a divorce. And so what happens at this point is that when that person doesn't trust the other person, then they start to kind of hold things back by themselves. They sweep things under the rug, they leave things pent up. And so there could be a lot of things they could be unhappy about in their relationship, in their lives and so on, but they can never talk about it because they know that if they do talk about it, it will cause some major issues. So they never talk about it. And so what happens is all this pent up stuff grows and grows and grows and grows. But then as all that pent up stuff grows, their unhappiness is still there. Their dissatisfaction with the relationship is still there, but it's never addressed. And they know that they can't address it. So what they do is they start to go behind the person's back and they do things in secret. And so they cheat maybe. They think about cheating and so they cheat. Maybe they take away some money here and there. Whatever bad things people do. And whenever they do it in secret, it's always to compensate for some lack that they're having in the relationship. So nobody does things in secret because they're just assholes. The reality is that when both people can really feel fulfilled in a relationship, they don't need to look elsewhere. I've never worked with a couple, over 300 couples now I've worked with. I've never worked with one couple who, after getting all they want from the relationship, still looks elsewhere. Or they might kind of have that seed of thought, but they're never going to come close to doing anything about it because they know that this relationship is too good. They don't want to waste it. They want to nurture it. They want to work on it. And it's a relationship where they want to actually spend more time in. And so when your partner is doing a lot of things behind your back, then you have to kind of humble yourself and say, did I not create the best environment for my partner? And you must admit to yourself that there must have been a lot of pent up stuff that my partner could not express to me that caused them to have to go behind my back to actually get the fulfillment he wants in his life. And that's a very difficult thing to admit, but you must admit that it starts that way. Because if you don't admit that, then we can't go anywhere. If you're fully dead set on just blaming your partner for doing whatever things they do to destroy that trust, then we can't go anywhere. Because the reality here, if you look at the reality here, is that part of the problem is also your problem. Is that you didn't create enough safety to where before your partner's dissatisfaction becomes into a full-grown plant and they had to do all these really bad things to kind of get their fulfillment, you must realize that you didn't give them the safety to actually express it when their problems was just seeds, was just kind of sprouts. Because what happens in really happy couples, really good couples, is that when some dissatisfaction brews, they can share it, they can talk about it. And once they talk about it, they can come to some resolution and they can kind of understand, here's how we need to do things differently in the relationship to make that happen, to fulfill each other. But if you don't have emotional safety, then all this stuff will be pent up and it will grow into this massive plant that is now out of control. And so back to this cycle of destruction here. So this person is just continuing to kind of hide and do more things outside in secret. But then one day you find out. You find out what he did. You find out what he did, and when that happens, your side of the trust, the second dimension of trust, is also destroyed. So now it begins with your partner not trusting you to become that person where they can talk to. And now they do things in secret. And that, when found out, will destroy your trust in a sense of you don't trust your partner to tell you the truth. And so that's a cycle of destruction there. But notice again, the cycle begins with a lack of emotional safety. And if you've been following me for a while, you will know that emotional safety is the number one key. If you want to fix any part of your relationship, it's the number one key. If you don't have safety, then you can't express your gripes. You can't express your emotions. And if you can't express your emotions, you can never address it. If you never address it, it just becomes worse and worse and worse and comes out in really, really bad ways. But let's look at the opposite here. How do you actually turn this around? Well, the mechanics is exactly the same. So it starts with emotional safety. So you have to learn the skills to slowly prove and show to your partner that they can tell you the truth. They can tell you the harsh truth about anything they're feeling, and you will handle it well. If you can handle it well, then you're telling your partner, hey, you can express the truth no matter how painful it is, because I want to know. Because we need to know the truth to resolve it. And as you create more safety on your partner, what your partner will slowly realize, it's not an overnight thing. It might take weeks, months, even sometimes a year for them to realize, hey, this relationship is a safe place where I can actually talk about my feelings, talk about my dissatisfactions without something bad happening. And when that happens, you will realize that your partner will actually tell you more things. And as your partner tells you more things, it sort of builds trust on your side too, because now you can see, he's starting to be more open, then, I'm giving him less reasons to hide. But another beautiful thing happens here, which is that as you start to understand your partner's gripes and your partner's dissatisfaction with the relationship, it opens more doors in a sense of you understand now what is going wrong with the relationship and you can start to fix it a bit better. And so the reason why people have trust issues in a relationship is not because their partner lies or whatever. It's often because they don't understand what's happening. They don't understand their partner's minds because they don't think that their partner would actually express the truth to them. But if you create this culture where your partner can actually express the truth to you, that's a really powerful feeling, because that's the only way you can trust your partner back, is if you know that you have done everything you can and there's really no reason for your partner to really hide the truth from you, because one, you're giving them a safe environment for them to express themselves, and two, this one is very important, is that any issues that your partner has, any dissatisfactions that they have, they're all out on the table now. And you'll find that you'll be able to trust your partner more because you know what's going on. You know what's happening. You know that all the bad shit, all the bad crap that can be destroying the relationship is now out on the table. And not only that, you're also creating some solutions for all those things. And that's a very powerful place to be in. And so notice here that the good couples are perpetuating a very different cycle. So one person creates this sense of safety by being able to respond well to all these bad truth, really harsh truth. Then that makes the other person feel more safe to trust that, hey, whatever things I express can actually be taken well. And once your partner starts expressing all these things, and once you start to come up with some resolutions to it, then it will build trust on your side as well. Because you realize that the cards are all out on the table. There's nothing that I don't know anymore. I know why he's so unhappy in the relationship, and it's all out on the table. So there's no secret anymore. And so when there's no secret like that, you can start to rebuild your trust. But again, the key here is always safety. When you can create safety, you can start to perpetuate a very positive cycle. But when you destroy safety, your cycle will start going down again. And the bad cycle that we talked about will keep perpetuating again. And you'll be stuck in a cycle of lies and deceit. And you'll really struggle to trust one another again. And so if you understand the importance of safety here, then I want you to leave a comment below with safety first. Just to show that you really understand how important safety is to a relationship. That safety is really the number one currency you have. And whatever you do, you must think the long-term game and focus on creating safety, number one. And notice here too that this cycle takes a while. So it's not an overnight thing. So when I work with a couple to rebuild the trust, it might take 2 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months, depending on how bad the trust was destroyed. But I can tell you that the only way to create this trust back is by, one, creating that sense of safety and reestablishing that sense of safety first. And you can do that by understanding how to respond well to the truth, how to reward your partner telling you the truth. Because that's the only way that the truth can come out, all the harsh stuff can come out, all the baggage can come out, and how you can fix the baggage. And one of the questions you might be asking now is if my partner is the one that destroyed the trust, He was the one who cheated, not me. Why do I have to be the one kind of reversing the cycle myself? Why do I have to be the one kind of staying calm and trying to create emotional safety and letting him heal his emotions? What about my emotions? So understand that in this cycle, it doesn't matter who starts it, but someone needs to start it. Someone needs to start creating safety. If it's not you, it has to be your partner. But your partner is not watching this video, so it has to be you. Because understand that you're either perpetuating the negative cycle or you're breaking it. So you have to decide right now, like, do you want to keep living in this lack of trust? Or do you want to actually take control and take some action, start building that emotional safety and reversing that cycle? It's not an overnight thing. It might take a lot of effort and some grit from your part, but it's definitely possible. I've never had a client who, after following this system perfectly, didn't recreate the trust back. It's always possible to recreate trust, even stronger trust than before the whole thing happened. Now, of course, your question now is, okay, so if emotional safety is so crucial in rebuilding trust, how do I learn how to create that? How do I create emotional safety? Well, that's why I've created a 4-day training series on exactly this topic. And this topic will show you the step-by-step way of how to start a conversation, how to progress a conversation, and how to end a conversation with emotional safety as the main priority. And this training will give you scripts, it will give you some mindset training as well, it will give you everything you need to understand how to create emotional safety. And so if you're interested in this resource, then click the link in the description box below this video to download that training. And if you're looking for a safe space where you can talk about the issues in your relationship and actually get really good advice, expert advice about those issues, then you also want to join our secret Facebook group filled with people who are just as committed and as enthusiastic on working on the relationship as you are. So if you want to join that Facebook group, the link is also in the description box below this video. And so if you found this video to be helpful and it gave you some hope, I know it didn't give you everything you need to know, but at least if it gave you some hope, some direction as to how to cure and rebuild that trust, then give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. And leave a comment below if you found this to be valuable. What did you find most insightful? What was most eye-opening for you? We'd love to hear your thoughts. But thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I really appreciate all you guys being here. But in the meantime, I will see you in the next video.